Assalamu alaikum. Today I have an incredible story for you, inshallah. Perhaps one of the most incredible stories that you will hear this Ramadan. But it's going to cost you. Share this video far and wide. Share it on your networks, your social media. Share it to as many people as you can. The Ummah at the moment is suffering. We are suffering a collective trauma because of what is happening in the world. All of us are in pain. People are in need of some comfort and reassurance. And inshallah, with Allah's permission, this story that you are going to hear, that I'm going to tell you now, will comfort your heart. So spread it far and wide amongst all the Muslims everywhere in the world, so it may also give comfort to their hearts. In the 1990s, there was a genocide that took place in Bosnia. You can Google it, war in Bosnia. Hundreds and thousands of Muslims were killed. In the summer of 1995, a few weeks after the genocide in Srebrenica, where 8,000 innocent Muslim men, women and children were slaughtered under the eyes of the United Nations peacekeepers in a matter of days. And it's been described as Europe's worst massacre since the Second World War. A few weeks after that, there was a series of battles that took place in which the Bosnian Army tried to capture back land and territory that the Serbs had taken from it. And they were assisted by foreign Muslim volunteer fighters from all over the world. I was one of those who volunteered and joined the Bosnian Army. At that time, it was legal according to the laws of the United Kingdom and in many other countries, but you couldn't do that today in 2024. It would be illegal. So if you're having any ideas, then bear in mind what I did was in a different time and era and space, and it's not something that I would recommend young people to do now. Anyway, this battle took place. I was injured, so I was evacuated to another city, and there in that other city, I found out that there was a place where some Serb prisoners of war that had surrendered to the Bosnian Army were being held. So I went there and I wanted to just see these prisoners. So I went there and I saw there's about 10 or 12 of them in a room. They weren't tied up or anything. They were in like army clothes and they were just sitting on the floor of this room. And there was a Bosnian brother that was guarding them. And he spoke a bit of English. So I went there and I asked him, I said, would you mind interpreting between me and the prisoners because I want to ask them something? He said, sure. So I asked them, I said, 3 years ago, I was involved in a firefight with your colleagues, with your fellow soldiers in another village. And we attacked your positions on the mountainside, but all of your return fire, it went into the air. We could see your tracer rounds. All of your return fire went into the air, not at us. So why were you firing into the sky? We didn't have any airplanes or helicopters. Why were you firing back into the sky and not at us? And then he said something. Then one of the Serb prisoners, he said something in his language. And as he said that, the others around him, they murmured in agreement and they said, oh yeah. And they didn't seem surprised by his response. They said, oh yeah. And they just murmured to each other, mumbled to each other. The Bosnian brother who's interpreting in broken English, he looked at me and he said, he saw sky people. The prisoner said he saw sky people. I asked him, describe these sky people. 5 meters high, men with terrifying faces, wearing white robes, holding swords, and attacking us at speed from the sky. And we have no ideas what they are or who they are. And anytime we shoot at them, it does not affect them in the least. Stop for a moment. What is the message Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is trying to give your heart as you've heard me hear these words just now? This is not something that is new. It happened in Afghanistan. in the 80s, the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, we captured Russian prisoners of war. They told the Muslims that it's not you that we are afraid of, but we are afraid of your soldiers who come to us on horses, on horseback, on horses whose hooves do not touch the floor, and they're wearing white robes, and they come to us with swords and they attack us, and when we shoot at them, it does not affect them at all. And these are Allah's angels that they saw, that they watched. The Prophet ﷺ, he mentioned an incident like this happened at the time of the Battle of Badr, where one of the Sahaba was fighting one of the enemy, and as he went to attack the enemy, he heard the crack of a whip, and he heard a voice say, "Go on, Hayzum." And then he saw that enemy right in front of him. Before he had even hit him, he saw that enemy drop down dead. And afterwards, when he went and told the Prophet ﷺ about that, the Prophet ﷺ said that was an angel from the third heaven, I think third or fourth, third heaven, and on that day they killed 70 and they took 70 prisoners. So the Prophet ﷺ, he told us, and Allah tells us in the Quran, in Surah Al Imran and in Surah Al Anfal, he tells us that I sent down angels to help you. But here, the stories I've told you is not something that happened 1400 years ago, 1995. And this isn't something I got from TikTok or I read in a book. I myself, I spoke to this prisoner, and this is what that prisoner, he told me, that they saw sky people. They saw sky people and they didn't know who they were and what to do about these people. Accounts like this I've heard so many times that have happened in recent times, not 1400 years ago, that are happening now. This is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reassuring us. These are great miracles, powerful miracles. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reassuring us that He is on our side, not on their side. He is on the side of the believers, not on the side of the oppressors. Allah is helping us in ways that we do not know and that we cannot see. But others, they see it. He's helping us. He's helping our ummah. He's helping our community. He's helping our worldwide community. Allah is with us. We may not be able to see it, but trust me, they can see it. They can see things that we cannot see. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, "In kuntum ta'lamun, فَإِنَّهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ كَمَا تَعْلَمُونَ وَتَرْجُونَ مِنَ اللَّهِ مَا لَا يَرْجُونَ." If you are in pain, then they are also in pain, like you are in pain. But you hope from Allah that which they do not hope from. You hope from Allah that which they do not hope for. This should give us hope. When you are in utter despair and pain at the world, with something that is happening in the world today, or something that is happening in your area, or something that is happening in your own personal life, then know that there are forces at work. There are angels that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is sending and employing to help us, to help the believers, and to be on our side, and to take care of your enemies and those that are trying to cause you harm. So this was the lesson from today's story. If you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please turn on the notifications bell. Please leave a comment, even if it is to say Assalamu alaikum. And please share this video far and wide so that others may also find comfort and reassurance in it. Until the next episode, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.